Gonna start now. Yes, really nice to see all of you. Good evening. My name is Suan. A very warm welcome to our Zoom business preview. It's a really great privilege to have 22 people on an evening like this, weekday and all that, and after a hard day's work. Thank you all for coming. I'm the MC for tonight and the second speaker. I'm here right now to welcome all of you and to introduce our speaker for tonight, Dr. James Chia. So James has a PhD in civil engineering. After graduating from a university in New Zealand, he came back to Singapore and spent a good many years in the construction industry. James was in fact involved in many of the big infrastructural projects in Singapore, including the MRT, the first phase, Well, when he reached early 40s, he decided to do something completely different. He went to sell insurance, or maybe a better term would be financial planning. Yeah, he became one of Singapore's top financial planner. He got CFP and CFA qualifications and also got a master's in applied finance. James is also an outstanding soldier. He is a lieutenant colonel in the Guards unit, and he was NS Man of the Year in 1995. When New Skin came to Singapore in 2001, this man said, why not? He jumped right in. Today, he is one of Southeast Asia's most well-known, well-loved leaders. He is also what we call a team elite and a $1 million earner. Without further ado, may I ask James to please take it away and start tonight's talk.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I really acknowledge you for being here. I know many of you haven't had dinner yet, and you can't wait for me to finish. But I hope to be able to, whet your appetite for life after this. I promise to give you full value. Okay, Hwee and I just been so looking forward to this because we're excited to share with you something that can open your mind and and maybe help lots of people in your lives. Okay, so let me share my screen and I'll. Okay. So this is the topic for today. But I want to just go back and share with you what I was doing before. Okay. So when I graduated, I was a civil engineer, and we're talking about storms of life, and perhaps this was the first crisis. This was the first crisis, midlife crisis. Okay, so I was in construction. I remember at age 40, I hadn't been on leave for 5 years. I was bored. I was looking for a challenge. So I dropped it all and I went to sell life insurance. Okay. So that was 1995, 96 that I got my insurance license. And I want to share with you the perspective that I have. Okay, the perspective that I have accumulated from my years in financial planning. Okay. Now, one of the first things I focused on, in fact, my main focus in financial planning was on retirement planning. Okay, and this was a seminar I did at Suntec City. On retiring rich. Okay, so I focused on retirement because I saw that to be a real issue. Now, some of you have issues about being rich, but to me, retiring rich was simply not being poor. Okay. So now, one of the things I learned was to follow the smart money. Okay. And let me share with you the first thing I did when I was introduced to the New Skin opportunity. This was my sponsor, okay, Tan Jun Wen. Now, a bit of a background of Jun Wen. Okay, Jun Wen grew up poor. Okay, in fact, his family, his mother was a cleaner for the British Army, and the family of 8 of them, shared one toilet. He proudly says. So he went to he wanted a better life. So he went to the top school in Singapore, Raffles Institution, and then went on to win a government scholarship, okay, a prestigious government scholarship. Um, but and then went to serve the government. Okay. But he was not content even then. Okay. Now, when you serve the government, when you get a government scholarship, you have an 8-year bond. After just 4 years, he broke his bond. Okay, he went out and he went on to do stockbroking, something completely different. Okay. At that time, so Jungwon went into stockbroking. Now, when he called me in 2001, he said Nu Skin had just come into Singapore. I'd sign up to do the business. Okay. Now, at that time, he'd been maybe 14, 15 years in stockbroking, and very, very successful. This was the house that he built for himself in his 30s with money made from stockbroking. So he called me and he said, you know, Nu Skin had come into Singapore and that he signed up to do the business. So of course, I did a double take. I said, why is a guy like him doing, you know, what I thought was a housewife business? So I went on to listen to him, and he told me that the person who invited him to this business was one of his biggest clients, an American fund manager called Robert Howe. Now, Bob went to Yale University, had an MBA from Harvard, and at that time, he was president and chief investment officer of AIG in Japan. So these two were what we call smart money. Okay? So my wife and I, we looked at it, we said, look, why not? Let's just follow them. Now, at that time, we didn't really have a financial need for that, but you know, this was an opportunity and we just went along with it. Okay. Now, I wrote this book, The Financial Planner's View of MLM, just 1 year after getting involved in network marketing. I didn't know much about network marketing, but I knew a lot about financial planning, and I saw that this was a great financial plan. So over the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you some of my insights as a financial planner. Okay, this is my family. Okay, in 2008, 7 years after we first took a look at Nu Skin. Okay. Now, my Chris, the eldest son on the right, okay, he's about to go to university, and he spent 5 years in the US. Daniel on the left, from his haircut, you can see that he's, you know, he's in national service, and he went on to study in the US for 8 years. Okay, my daughter Gail was just about to go to SMU. Okay, and both of us were in our 50s, so we've got what, 40, 50 years of retirement ahead of us. Okay, so what's our risk profile? Now, what's our risk profile? Okay, it's what you call low risk profile. Okay, but it was that precise time, after 7 years looking at the business, okay, that I gave up all my professional engineering licenses. I was licensed to practice in the UK and in Singapore, and I gave up all my investment insurance licenses to have just one source of income from Nu Skin. Okay. So, so that's you know, that's how I saw the business. Okay, so we're talking about Lifeboats. Okay, and I want to share with you, you know, a long-term view that covers from that will apply to people in their 20s, you know, all the way to their 90s. Okay. Now, the first thing when we talk about, you know, financial issues is how do we stay alive? And I think, you know, it's really appropriate. We are in this situation where we're literally fighting for our lives. Okay, and you know, living is about surviving crisis. Okay. Now, this is the latest statistics. Okay, today, 9 million over cases. You know, almost half a million deaths. Okay, this is it's a really situation. It's not a laughing matter. People say this too shall pass, but you know, if you're affected in any way down there, you know, from a business point of view, it is a really big thing. Okay, this is very early March. You know, the first people to be laid off, of course, were the airline staff. Okay, then the airlines got badly hit. Singapore Airlines, the best airline in the world, first annual loss in 48-year history. And then global banks, global brands were in trouble. Okay. Um, uh, J.C. Penney, among many big names filing for bankruptcy. And then, of course, oil prices actually went to below zero, okay, negative. Uh, First, in 150 years, it's never happened. Okay, but you know, all these crises, and there have been crises all through life. But the fact is, even without crisis, most of us are in a really, really bad state. So these are very old statistics from the US. At age 65, 36% of people are dead, 54% are dead broke, 5% are still working, only 5%, are okay, 4% well-to-do, and 1% wealthy. These are the facts. Okay. So, you've heard this saying, those who fail to plan to fail. And, it is really, really true. That is why the financial planner is here to help you plan, that you can do something about the situation. Okay. So what the financial planner is really doing is giving you early warning, helping you look into your future. And so let's look a bit into our future. Okay. But today, the current reality is that if you have a job, it's 100% of your own effort. Okay. Problem with that is, if anything happens to you, who's going to feed your spouse? Who's going to feed your children? Who's going to feed your parents? So that's what we call high risk. So people know that, and that's why they go into business. Okay. But today, if you go into business, you're working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, just to keep ahead with your competitor. Because with globalization, with the internet, everyone knows what you're doing, and that's what I call low rest. Okay, no rest at all. Now, just fast forward to someone who's in his late 40s, early 50s. It's what we call a sandwich class. You've got two sides of the sandwich: children going to university, okay, and if you're a law-abiding, not law-abiding, a good Singapore citizen, you've got 3 children, and they're going overseas. You've got parents, medical bills, okay, and you yourself, in your late 40s, 50s. What about your job, your business? So it's not a nice situation at all. In fact, when I was studying retirement, this is an article I picked up way back in 1995 from Fortune magazine. Let me read it to you. It's not a pretty picture. In fact, you're already well into your 40s, have kids to put through college, and have done little or nothing to get ready for retirement. Your armpits should be getting damp just thinking about it. Okay. So in financial planning, we talk about risk and reward. Okay, and we understand risk. That's why all of us wear seat belts. Okay, when we get into the car. Okay, I used to parachute, and this is a military parachute, and parachuting is just a means of transport, not a sport. So when we get down, we've got to get down to carry on with the mission. So we have a reserve parachute. This here is a reserve parachute in case the main doesn't open. Okay, and of course your insurance policy, your life insurance policy, your hospitalization policy, that is to prevent against anything that could happen. And of course, for our jobs, we really need to have a plan B. Okay, if you're a breadwinner, okay, feeding the family. Okay. So when I first came into the business, I came across this book called The New Professionals, written by Professor Charles King, a university professor, and he talked about the rise of network marketing as the next major profession, Plan B. Okay, and this is what he said: "We will show you how the old employment model is breaking apart. Only the foolish, complacent, or lazy refuse to see and seize the opportunities to protect themselves and their families." So that really empathized with me, because, for me, I'm about protection, about safety. And this was not a get-rich-quick scheme, but a protection plan. Okay. So let's now look at this issue of luck. Okay, if things are so difficult, 95% of people don't make it financially at age 65. Well, why don't I queue up for 4D or Toto, Okay. But actually there are laws. Even with luck, you've heard, the harder you work, the luckier you get. So let's look at some laws in financial planning. Okay. So this question, why do network marketing? We saw this scenario. Okay. So instead of 100% of my own effort, I'd rather earn 1% from 100 people, because 1% from 100 people means if anything happens to me, there's 99 other people working to feed my spouse, feed my children, feed my parents. So that's what I call low risk. We're managing the risk. But of course, we don't plan for these sort of things to happen. What we want to do is go on leave for 1 month, go on leave for 2 months, go on leave for 3 months, and there's 99 other people working to feed our spouse, our children, and our parents. Just like what's been happening. Some of us have been on so-called leave for the last 2-3 months. And that's what I call high risk. Okay? And this happens because of a very simple principle in life, leverage. Okay, leverage. Now, what is leverage? Okay. In our business, leverage is just more than one. Okay. So that's me. I find 3 people who want to do this business. I teach them how to do this business. And then I help them to find 3 people, 9, 27, 81, 243, 729, altogether 1092. Now, when you look at this so-called pyramid, you say, hey, you know, this looks like multi-level marketing, you know. Yeah. And I say, of course, it's multi-level marketing. You know, multiplication, I learned, is better than addition. I want my income to multiply rather than to add, you know. And don't you want multiple sources of income, multiple levels of income? Okay, so let me show you the numbers. Okay. So if I have 1,000 partners, let's round off this 1,000 partners, and let's say each one just sells $3,000 of products a month. 1,000 times 3,000, that's 3 million a month. Let's say the company pays me 5%. 5% times 3 million, that's 150,000 US dollars a month. Now that's a lot more than you need for retirement. Remember, I said this was a retirement plan. This is a lot more. In fact, it's a pretty good business where there's no capital, no overheads, no experience required, and the best thing of all, you can do it part-time. Okay. And if you look at the numbers, okay, there's Malaysia, 30 million, Singapore about 5-6 million, China 1.4 billion, India 1.3 billion, Indonesia 250 million, Vietnam, so just countries very close to us, and there's still the rest of the world. Now, why do I show you this? Because when you're globalized, okay, when you're global, because of the large numbers, your risk reduces. More people, your risk reduces, and more people, your reward increases. Okay? I'm talking about risk and reward. Okay. Now, I want to talk about financial planning. Okay. In traditional financial planning, when you start off young, you don't have much assets. Okay, you buy insurance. Okay, so that if anything happens to you, there's an increased amount that your family gets. But no one plans, as I said, no one plans for all these bad things to happen. We plan to have a happy retirement, and so you need to have the second I, which is investment. So you accumulate enough funds to last you the rest of your life. And unfortunately, we're not very good timers. So when you die, you left something behind, and you know, you want to make sure it's going to the right people. They're not being squandered. So what we do is we have an inheritance plan. Okay, your wills, your trusts. Okay. Now, what is insurance? Insurance is actually providing income for the family when you're not around, when something happens. Okay. Investment is about providing income for you when you stop working. Okay. And inheritance is about providing income for your beneficiaries, for your charities when you're not around. It's all about income. But in network marketing, okay, you have a fourth eye. You have income now, right now. You don't have to wait until something happens. Okay, and you know this recent situation has shown that every bit of income is a big help. Okay, so it's a very, very powerful financial plan. Okay. Now the other aspect about wealth is health. Okay, so we have twin needs. So we saw that wealth is taken care of with income, insurance, investment, inheritance. Health is about your immunity. And again, we've been made very, very aware of immunity. So let's look at health. Okay? In financial planning, this came out from an article in 2003. When planning for retirement, little thought is given to who's going to pay for the doctor's bills. Okay? So, we plan for retirement. We have a three-legged stool: social security, pension, your personal savings. But really, there is a fourth leg, which is healthcare. Okay, so let's now look at the sandwich class, but we focus now on the parent's medical situation. This is an article exactly a year ago. Okay, Singaporeans are living longer but spending more time in ill health. Let's look at the numbers. Okay, so the average life expectancy for Singaporeans is about 85 years old, but they spend 10 years in poor health before they die. So I want you to imagine, okay, the last 10 years of your life in old age. Okay, so that's you, hooked up to tubes and all that, and you're suffering, you're immobile, you got these medical bills, and you've got mental illness probably. Now, the mental illness is probably the only good thing about it, because if you got Alzheimer's and dementias, you don't know what's happening to you. But you know who's aware, who's acutely aware of what's happening to you? Okay, your family. You're a burden to them. They suffer a loss of time and money, having opportunity cost of doing their work and their business, having to ferry you in and out of hospital. All these medical bills that you haven't taken care of yourself, they are footing. And of course, the saddest thing of it, the grandchildren are missing grandpa and grandma. Okay, so that's a reality for average person. Okay, so we want to talk about this issue of youth span. Okay, so in a normal person, normal life, you got this 10-year gap before you die. So these are the healthy years. Well, our goal is to maybe live a bit longer, but have all these years in good health. Is this possible? Let me share with you some good news. Okay. I want to share about this chap, John Cheng. Okay, so John's wife, younger wife, was doing the new skin business, and she would share the products with him. But of course, the older people, they don't really believe other people. So he refused to do anything about it, even though he used to be bothered by frequent flu bouts, onset of elderly issues, which include prostate, slow recovery after physical exercises, failing memory. Okay, but one day when he was cycling out there, he couldn't remember where he was. And when he went back, he realized he needed to do something about it. And so he went on some of our products, H-Top products. And he celebrated his 80th birthday by completing his first full marathon, 42-kilometer marathon. And he actually, the following year, he did his first mini triathlon. Because so that was John. Now, my friend Machiko in KL, when she heard about that story, she volunteered her mother's story. This is what she said: I totally believe in ultimate duo's power by my own mother's transformation. She was mentally exhausted by side effects of doctors' medications, and she wanted to stop all, including her life. After 3 months of taking the ultimate duo, all her side effects had gone, and even she started yoga at age 83. Can you imagine starting yoga at age 83? She will be 90 in 10 days. So this picture is 7 years later. Yeah, I'm so grateful to your new skin products. Okay, now I want to share with my friend GP. Okay, so GP Yap was former CEO of Temasek Management Services. Okay, so he hobnobbed with all the top people in our in society, and here's him having receiving a prize from our former Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew for some golf competition. And of course, with all the good life and all that, he put on a bit of weight. Okay, but he did something about it. He went on a weight management program, and he lost some weight. And his friends looked at him and they said, "Hey, are you well? No, you look pretty sick." So he went to prove himself by running his first half marathon at age 55. Okay, then at age 61, he ran his first full marathon. 62, his second. 63, his third. 64, his fourth. 65, his fifth. He's making it a habit. And at age 66 last year, he did his sixth full marathon. Okay, so that's the effect of having good health. Okay, now, as I said, in normal life, things are tough. Okay, managing financial issues and health issues. Okay, but crises come along. Okay, you saw, the world wars, the great financial crisis, the depression, 2008, the global financial crisis, fires, floods, volcanoes, SARS, then recent, all these things happen. And that's why we want to talk about this lifeboat. We need lifeboats for the storms of life. Okay. So what do we need? What do we want in a lifeboat? It needs to be low risk, especially if it's a lifeboat for retirement, okay, 40, 50 years of retirement. We want to be involved in a robust industry, a company, a good company that will last. Okay. We want what we call a AAA asset. Okay. We want products that are in perpetual demand, not fashionable. Okay. So if you look at our health products, beauty products, and anti-aging products, there will be perpetual demand for this, especially as the aging population grows. We want a company that does a lot of R&D, because with the amount of research in, with scientists' input, the product's going to work, and they're going to be innovating, updating it themselves all the time. Okay. Financially, you want an opportunity that has a low cost of entry and a low cost of maintenance, so you don't have to keep spending a lot of money to maintain the business. And you want something that's transferable, just like a property that's freehold as opposed to expiring lease. Okay, because you want to be able to transfer this to your charities or to your children along the road. Okay, so in the next few minutes, I want you to examine the product that we have, examine the company that Nu Skin is. Okay, look at the type of people that are involved and what kind of lifestyle you can expect from this. Okay, because that's your whole life, your community that you're going to be in. And at this stage, I'll invite Suan to come in and share about why Nu Skin.
Okay. Yes. Okay. For the next 10 minutes, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this lifeboat called Nu Skin. Are you seeing my screen? Okay. We got why Nu Skin on it. Yes. Okay. So Nu Skin Enterprise is a 36-year-old company. It was founded in 1984. It is publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange. Currently, it is open in 50 plus markets. Yeah, in 2009, we did 1.3 billion in sales revenue, and in 2018, we did 2.68 billion. Okay, so we've been listed on the New York Stock Exchange since 1996. We have a 5A1 credit rating from Dun & Bradstreet. It says on this slide, highest credit rating. This rating means that the company is cash rich. It is virtually debt free. When you want to join a company, a network marketing company, this is very, very important. You don't want to stake your reputation, put your time and effort, only to have the company not around, when you've built a large organization. Forbes has rated us the top 5 most trusted mid-cap company. In Singapore, we were the first direct selling company to be Case Trust certified. This means we have good business practices. And we are a company with a heart. In 2007, we won the American Business Award for Best Corporate Social Responsibility Program. This is called Nourish the Children. In Singapore, we are already 20 years old, having a proven track record, and we have been the #1 direct selling company in Singapore for the last 8 years. Now, Nu Skin is in 4 big markets. And if you look at these 4 markets, you will see that we have products that are in great demand. Nutrition and supplements, needless to say, especially now. Cosmeceuticals and beauty, anti-aging, and weight management. That category is a huge market. Yeah, our weight management program has been the #1 weight management and well-being brand in Singapore for 2 consecutive years, as certified by Euromonitor International, which is a leading market research company. Let's take a look at some transformed people, right? TR90 stands for Transformation in 90 Days. This is Ruth. She's a missionary. Her before picture and her after. She lost about 13.2 kg. yeah, nearly 10% in body fat. And in terms of weight, she lost about 10 kg of fat. Okay, so she lost 13 kg in total, 13.2 kg in total, but of that, right, 10 is actually fat. This is a very, very significant thing about our program. And after the program, you're done, look at her. She is like looking way younger. Madam Zulaiha tipped the scale at 100 kg. And honestly, right, she'd given up. But when she knew about TR90, she went on the program and she dropped from 100 to 68 and gained 16 more years of life and looked like a brand new person. Madam Zulaiha is a teacher, yeah? We just saw her recently and she looks still like this. Amazing, right? Joe Singh, just 30 years old. What's a young man like this doing on a program like weight loss? Just look at his tummy. Yeah, so many of us do not have a healthy lifestyle, and that shows in our tummy. And that's what happened to Joe. He lost 6.4 kg, of which 5.2 is fat. But look at his visceral fat. There's a number here that says 9.5, which is very high. And he halved it, that he dropped to 5.5. And of course, became 9 years younger. His body age is 9 years younger. Harold, you just look at his before after, it says everything, yeah. And that's because this guy lost 10% of body fat, you know, when he went on the program. Yeah, his body fat loss is 7.7 kg. His body weight loss is 7.1 kg. Amazing. He also gained a lot of muscle. Yeah. So what is age lock? This word that you've seen, you know, in the last few slides. Age lock is New Skin's proprietary science. It is actually our solution, right, to reset the ultimate source of aging, which is our genes, so that, you know, you can look younger, feel younger, and age younger. It is such a groundbreaking science that Discovery Channel actually did a program on age lock science. In it, they interview our chief scientist, Dr. Joe Cheng. So if you want to watch this program, it is still available on YouTube. Please go and have a look. You'll be amazed at the cutting edge science that we're talking about. And here we are talking about products, right? Using the science, we are able to come up with products that attacks the root cause of aging. Age lock science enables us to isolate youth gene clusters. These are the genes that, you know, cause us to age, right? So we can find the right blends of ingredients, screen through lots and lots of blends to find the right blend that could reset your old gene to look somewhat like the young. Okay, so we put this in many, many products, but I'm going to tell you about a couple. This is the ultimate duo. Ask any person in this business and they will rave about these two. We call them the ultimate anti-aging duo. R square and Y span. R square basically has a recharge and a renew, right? So it in short gives you physical energy, mental acuity, and sexual health. Y span is targeting it supports our anti-aging defense mechanisms. Yeah, so what happens with that is when you take something like Y span, you enjoy many, many systemic benefits, including cellular health, brain health, heart health, metabolic, skin, bone, joint, eye health, and immune health, and also physical performance, of course. Let's look at what happens when some of us take this anti-aging duo. Well, Kim Boon is not exactly old, but he suffers from very bad eczema. After 3 months on Life Pack, our multi-vitamin, multi-mineral, multi-antioxidant, R square and Y span, look at his condition. He basically got rid of a lifelong condition. Now, dry eyes is a condition that plagues many people who are older. Monica Lam at 71, okay, so she looks amazing, right? Not like 71 years old at all, but she did suffer from dry eyes. And she says that, you know, before she used to have to put eye drops meant for serious dry eyes, about 3 to 5 times. Now she uses it once in 3 days or not at all. She has more energy, she feels less tired after prolonged usage of computer and handphone. There's stronger bladder control, 1 toilet visit in the night to none. Therefore, she is able to enjoy uninterrupted sleep. And in this before and after picture, she says that even though she already has very good skin, she saw great improvement in skin complexion, firmer, more radiant, and translucent. And if you look at this picture, and if you had no caption, you really cannot tell who is the 71-year-old and who is the 56-year-old. Yeah, and today at 74, she still looks amazing like that. She just texted me just now, full of energy, wanting to learn more stuff and all that. So remember that I said that you can age younger. Well, you can do that if you have great skincare stuff, right? And we have this dream team, the Age Lock Rumi Spa, that comes with another attachment for eyes, with the galvanic face and body spa, and the Age Lock Me skin robot. So what does the Lumi Spa do? Number one, it purifies. So it's a cleansing device. Just one action, 2 minutes, and you get 7 benefits, including reduced pore size, softening of the skin, your skin becoming clearer, more radiant, yeah? And yeah, just look at that picture with the pores, right? It really, really does something for pores, yeah. Okay, and the accent is an attachment, okay, you can put on your Lumi Spa, and it's for targeted at the eye area. So it's bye-bye to your dark circles, eye bags, puffiness, wrinkles, and it brightens and refreshes your eye. The Galvanic Spa is actually one of my favorite products. In fact, I use it every week 2 times, because in less than 10 minutes, I feel like my face gets a few years younger. So it's pretty instantaneous, the result. It minimizes the appearance of wrinkles and fine lines. It has a nickname, yeah, it's called a wrinkle iron. It lifts and tightens your skin as well. So look at this pawpaw, right? Obviously, you can see one side of her face has been galvanic sparred. It's after several months of treatment on one side. I think it was 6 months. Because her granddaughter asked the pawpaw, please lend me your face, like half of it. So she said, okay. So old already, never mind, But she didn't realize that it would be so stunning a difference, yeah? One side looks decades younger. So the body spa can be used for conditions like the one you see in the picture, stretch marks, sagging skin. Yeah, many people use the body spa for the arm area and like muffins around the stomach area. Okay, and our new kid on the block, well, it is a relaunch of our hair care product. This time it comes with a really nice shampoo, fantastic conditioner, and this hair serum, which is used together with this comb-like head, and it promotes healthier, younger looking hair. Yeah, and for some of us, it causes kind of like more abundant hair. Yeah, hair growth. Yeah. Age Lock Me is a personalized skincare robot that is simple and precise and effective. Answer about 20 questions. You get a combination of 3 serums and a night moisturizer and a day moisturizer that is customized just for you, your skin type. So it's no longer dry, oily, combination, sensitive. But this, with Age Lock Me, it is really something that is customized for me, yeah? And it has got stunning effects on people as well. Truly anti-aging. You look at the picture of these 2 ladies, of the before-after pictures, you can see how much younger their faces look, how much less sagging with Age Lock Me. So this is just a very, very quick run through of our company and our star products. And over to you, James.
Okay, thank you, Suan. Okay, so remember we're talking about Lifeboats now. Okay. So this was a report last year, 2019, pre-COVID-19. And the survey was done asking people, what's the biggest benefit you see to working remotely? Okay. And people said flexible schedule, working from any location, time with family, working from home and others. And they asked this question, would you like to work remotely at least some of the time for the rest of your career? And 99% said yes. That's quite amazing, 99% said yes. Okay, this was before COVID. Now, after, the experience people have had in the last 2, 3 months, where you've realized that actually you can work quite effectively. Okay, many people can work quite effectively from home. You now realize that, hey, you can actually make money, build an asset globally from.
Sorry to interrupt, James. Can you maximize your slide?
Okay, what's wrong with the slide?
Am I seeing it very small, or is it?
Yeah,
Really?
it's we see your whole desktop and on the
Yes.
slide is small.
The
Oh, I'm
slide
so
is in the
sorry.
middle of your desktop.
Let me stop it. Okay, let me share again. Is this better?
Yeah.
Yes, now it's okay.
Okay, so let me show you the let me show you the. Okay, so this was a survey done before COVID-19. Would you like to work remotely at least some of the time for the rest of your career? And 99% of people said they would. This was before circuit breaker. Okay, and of course, many of us have had positive experience working from home. Realize that there is the technology available and that we can really make money, build an asset globally from anywhere. Okay, so this lifeboat can work. Okay, now this is proof. Okay, this was in May. Okay, more than a month ago, May the 8th, New Skin shares blasted 30% higher on Thursday. Why? Because we've got all the systems in place, to work remotely. Okay. And that's something that we're doing for the last, half a decade. And this is a report a month later. Okay, June the 5th, New Skin stock is up more than 40% in a month. Okay, these are New Skin shares. These are the shares of the industry. Okay, so New Skin shares have surged 57% in the past 3 months of lockdown against the industry's decline of 0.1%. Okay, so it is an exceptional lifeboat, has proven to be able to stay afloat in difficult situations. In fact, every time there is a crisis, we find our business actually grows. Okay, but then the question is, yeah, so you've got a great lifeboat, but can someone like Junwen, survive in a lifeboat? Okay, so I want to move forward and talk about what if this could be a luxury liner. Okay, could this be a luxury liner? Such that okay. So why can it be a luxury liner? Remember, if there's innovation, there's growth. So this is Motley Fool. They said New Skin is the Apple of anti-aging companies. Why Apple? Because Apple is about innovation. Okay, look at all the Apple products, how desirable they are and how effective they are. Okay, Suan talked about Discovery Channel, okay, featuring our science. Okay, those 3 devices that Suan shared. Well, for the last 2 years, we have become the world's #1 at-home beauty device system brand. Okay, and that's the extent of innovation. And if you can innovate like this, you have a potential to grow. Yeah. Now it's also about income. Okay, this is the 2018 income of in the US. And, I want you to look at extreme right here, the Blue Diamond Director. So the Blue Diamond is like a colonel, okay? It's not a general, okay? It's a colonel. It's not the highest ranking, but the average income is about Singapore $50,000 a month, okay? A lot more than the $2,000 a month I was happy to, to collect in retirement. Okay. And the number of people who've made $1 million or more, okay, there's been more than 1,500 people. Over 1,220 have made at least $1 million. 175 have made $5 million or more US dollars in commissions. 104 have made 10 million or more, and 50 have made 20 million or more. Some, as much as 60, 70, 80 million. Okay. So it is a plan that can actually work. It is not a new lifeboat that you are worried about. It's a 36-year-old lifeboat that has been through all kinds of storms itself. Okay. So, with a plan like this, your plan B can actually be a plan A. That is the good news. So while you build this as a plan B, you know that eventually you can make it your plan A, which many people do. Okay, now I've got a little bonus for you. Yeah, and that is the fact that I want to talk about the fact that life's not all about money. Okay, I know when you're in a crisis or you're thinking of survival, but let's look at life itself. Okay, now this book, I've just been reading this book called The 100-Year Life, and it's been by a psychologist called Linda Grattan and an economist, Andrew Scott. And they recognize that, yeah, the 100-year life is a wake-up call because of the financial implications of having the money to last 100 years. But they say it also offers the clearest demonstration that the 100-year life can be a wonderful and inspiring one. Okay. So when Andrew Scott was here last year, there was this report about him. Okay. More people are living to 100 years old with so much more time on our hands. How do we make the best of our lives? Okay. And so he gives some tips. He says, while it means investing in your finances, which is what we started off talking about, it also means investing in your health, your relationships, your skills, as well as your sense of engagement and purpose, because you're going to be working for longer. So I use this logo to represent, a mind that's still alert, and relevant. Okay. I want to share with you this quote from Iris Apfel, 92-year-old fashion icon. She says, "I see myself as the world's oldest living teenager because I have such a good time and because I try to get as much of a kick out of things as possible." That's how you want to be, as you age. Okay. This is an article from Forbes. Okay, addressing the question, would you join a multi-level marketing for retirement income? And so, the reporter, Laura says, yeah, it does. Okay, not to mention helping people see the importance of planning, also for the non-financial aspects of retirement, such as replacing a work identity, staying relevant and connected, as well as keeping mentally and physically fit. Now, all these are important issues, when you're past your working life. Okay. And in the same article, Daria Brzezinski, a practicing psychologist and former marketing director for Multi-Level Marketing magazine, echoes these sentiments. She says, many people don't realize that multi-level marketing companies are successful because they help people satisfy a number of important human needs, including feeling significant, having connections, learning something new, and making a difference. I've heard people in network marketing say again and again, I'm doing this because I'm meeting amazing people, making so many connections, and I feel so good about myself. So I want to share a mission statement. We never hear people share mission statements because they're boring, but this is so exciting. The mission is to be a force for good. Wouldn't you want to be a force for good throughout the world by empowering people to improve lives with rewarding business opportunities, innovative products, and an enriching, uplifting culture? These are the kind of people that you have in Nu Skin, where you can discover the best you. Okay, at this stage, I want to bring back Hwee Suan and formally introduce her. Okay, you thought she was just a pretty face, a skincare salesperson, but actually, Hwee Suan has got 2 master's degrees. Okay, she's got a master's in library science, she's got a master's in mass communications. And when I first met her, she was a super scale officer with the government. Okay, a very, very capable person. And I'd like to bring Hwee Suan back to share with you the kind of life that she's experienced after coming into Nu Skin. Okay, so Hwee Suan, over to you.
Okay, thank you. Right, it's me again. Okay, I'm going to. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to share with you my story, and I entitled my sharing a dream business, really. And I really hope that as I share my story and my why and my transformation and my lifestyle, you might find some reason for yourself to explore this business a little bit more. So this is the year 2004. when I first started the new skin business, there was actually no good reason for me to moonlight in MLM at that time. I had just been promoted to super scale in my work. I had just bought a new freehold condo and moved in. I bought a new car. My son was doing well. As a Singaporean mom, actually that was a very good deal, you know. I couldn't ask for anything more. At that time, I met Dr. James Chia, and he was doing financial planning for me. And so the topic of retirement, of course, came up. I was then about 41. And remember that article you read just now that, you know, if you are in your early 40s, you've got parents, you've got kids, and you know, I've got parents, I've got kids, and I'm a single mom, and I haven't done any financial planning. My armpits should be very damp. Well, they were actually all right until I met him, so it really got quite damp. And I realized that, hey, you know, this is a serious thing. I am the sole breadwinner. I've got two parents. I've got one son and a brother who lives way there in Hong Kong. So I honestly decided that I would sit down and come face to face with things that are uncomfortable. Basically, three fears. Fear of job loss, fear of money not enough, and the third fear was fear of growing old, being lonely and sickly. So the first fear, right, that,
You change your slide, please, Suan.
oh, sorry. Yeah. So I basically looked at retirement, the issue of retirement. Got so excited, I forgot I got words. So I basically had the fears of the sandwich generation, right? Money not enough. So this is not money not enough now. It is money not enough at retirement. I realized that single income, high expenses, and you know, actually if I reach 60 something, my swanky condo not paid for yet, you know. I thought, wow, very nice, got condo. But actually, there's a lot of money owing to people, right? So there will not be actually a lot of money to enjoy the golden years of retirement, you know, after working so hard. And then, you know, job loss. I've got insurance against dreaded disease, disability, death, but there's no insurance against job loss. And I think that's bad news for anyone and everyone. I don't have to elaborate more at this time, right? But at that time, I'm just thinking, if I lose my job, although I'm in the civil service and it seemed unlikely, what's going to happen to me? But then again, it's not such an unlikely thing when I look outside my room at the people who are so-called working under me. They are younger, they're prettier, they're cleverer, they're cheaper. So I'm just thinking, who's going to keep paying me super scale pay, you know, when someone younger and cheaper can take over my job? And then there's the issue of fear growing old, being lonely and sickly. A very real fear for someone who was not taking care of her health very much, putting on weight, and also neglecting my social life. You know, so it was pretty much all work and no play at the time in my life. So the key reason I came to do this business was really for a retirement income. I was so excited by that one eye in financial plan in MLM that says that it gives you, it's like an investment. In my mind, I'm thinking it's like getting another property that gives me rental income. But then, you know, extra income, even though I had a full-time job at the time, was not such a bad idea. This was my son. It's also the reason why I started MLM. I thought that the idea of leaving him something, a legacy of my business that would last, was actually very, very cool. So this was him at 11 years old, very large. So extra income is actually very good. Yeah. So then 2 years after I started the business part-time, my mom suffered a massive stroke. And suddenly, you know, the words of the financial planner came back, being sandwiched between the medical bills of the older generation and then having to take care of the younger boy as well, you know. So I'm just thinking, so glad, you know, that I had extra income to spend on my mom for her physio, for maid, for more medical. Yeah. And I did not resign from my job in a hurry. So my plan B became my plan A 4 years later. Yeah, 4 years doing it part-time. I then resigned and did it full-time. And I fast forward to this, I think was the year 2012. Our boy has grown up, and my mom has recovered very well thanks to our Permanex products and very good home care. Really, really spent a lot of time with her in rehab. And my dad is over there, and this is his passing out parade. And the time then comes for yet another financial planner's prophecy to come true. Our boy did well enough to get a place in Oxford, but he didn't get a scholarship. So the mother sent him there. And I want to say that, you know, many people send their children overseas. But this one decision was a very conscious one. I said to myself, if I had to dig into my savings to send my son to Oxford, I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't. But well, I did have to dig into my savings, but I put in my savings to him, knowing that I will have income coming in every month when I'm older. So it was quite, it was not such a tough decision to make. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, if I had to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then that is like my retirement fund, then that is really, really not on. But because I had a new skin business, I could send him off in peace, of course. And then this is 2018, 4 years later when he graduated. Yep, and this was his college lunch. I spent a lot of time with my parents. So when I came to the business, I really, really only wanted $2,000 when I reached my 60s. I never planned to resign from my job, never, because I really liked my job and I liked my team and I liked my bosses. But one thing I didn't like about my job was having to spend hours and hours away from my family, being stuck in the office. You know, and to me, it made no sense. Why am I working so hard for these very people whom I don't spend time with? You know, so that's why I could walk away from my job in 2008. I spent lots of time taking them out to visit places in Singapore, pampering my mom at home. And when my dad had a back problem, I could spend lots and lots of time, lots and lots of money walking around with him looking for a solution. And eventually, he had decided to have a back surgery. I was with him all the way, including his rehab, and he recovered super fast, super well. This is day of surgery. This is like day after. Yeah, for an 85-year-old man, that is fantastic. I remember the last year going, being sickly, lonely. Well, actually, my life changed tremendously. I go on holidays all the time, and I got nice people to go to holidays with. This was one of the bestest and most unforgettable holidays in Paradise Valley, Montana. And why? Because I'd never experienced this in my life before. Staying in a lodge with the mountains behind and the river running, you know, by, and then just kind of like doing nothing most of the time. Then like walking a bit and eating. Oh, that was heavenly. And New Skin took us to many corners of the world. I'm just showing you a couple. This is Turkey, and then this is Japan. Do you know I'd never been to Japan till 2015? So that's my first trip there. And then the cruise. Sorry, this cruise is very special because there's this thing called Brother there. He and I had not been to a holiday together for like 30 years, and I was able to bring him along on this cruise, all paid for, yeah, by New Skin. So I gave my brother a holiday treat. After that, we went to Oxford to see my son. Yep, this is also England. Oh, and I got an extra bonus from this business. I never expected that I would lose weight. This is me, a 40-something-year-old civil servant, wearing my little black dress, but looking not so little. I went on a program. It was called The Right Approach at that time. Lost about 10 kg, and I've kept it off. I've not known any program, because I've tried many things, that has successfully helped me to lose weight and keep it off. So I then went on to become fitter. I thought it would be nice at the age of 53 to climb my first mountain. Sign up for this mountain called the Sigunyang Dafeng in Sichuan, which is called the Alps of the Orient. So picturesque, so nice. I was so happy. But then after a while, not so happy because I realized the climb was very tough. This was on the last day of the climb, going to the summit. I was like all the way like that, and we had to wear helmet to prevent our heads from being crushed by rocks. So this is us, last stretch. And then for good effect, it snowed quite a bit, and then I reached the top with James and Jackie, 5025. The highest thing I ever climbed before this was Bukit Timah Hill, which was like 164, you know. So it is quite an amazing thing to become fit at the age. Kilimanjaro in 2016, that was about 5895 meters. Then I went on to Nepal, in 2018. And then when I went for Nikki's graduation, my son's graduation, we climbed the highest mountain in UK, Ben Nevis. Then went on to do Jade Mountain that same year. Last year was a really good year for adventure. I went to the largest caves in the world, which is called Sondong. Spent 4 days in a cave, camping there. And then in August, I went over to Russia to climb the highest mountain in Europe called Mount Elbrus, which is 5642 meters. Came back. We also went to Yosemite. Yeah, Yosemite is one of my bucket lists. It's glorious. We had a very, very nice log cabin and all that. And then also managed to squeeze in time to write a book. It's called Mind Matters. So this book was out last November. And then this is a picture of the book launch. So in short, remember the title I put at the beginning, it's a dream business. I realized when I look back on my life, that is not an exaggeration at all. I came in trusting James that this business would give me a small sum, but that will help me to be more comfortable in retirement. I aimed for maybe $2,000-3,000. I never expected that I would be able to walk out of my job at age 47 and then go on to live, I would say, a life I've never dreamed of. Traveling, writing, being with my family, and every day getting to know more and more new people and being able to make a difference. And I wake up every day actually very excited and feeling like there's really a big purpose in my life. Yeah. So with that, James, over to you.
Thank you, Suan. Okay, I'm just gonna, guys, thanks for staying till now. I'm just gonna end because, the ladies really do well in this business. And I've got to say something on behalf of the men, okay? Give the men some hope, okay? Okay, so I'm going to share a bit about myself, the lifestyle. So this was me 14 years ago, okay? I'm exercising 2 hours a day. If I wear a shirt, you wouldn't notice these love handles at all, okay? This is me after 3 months on the weight management program. This is me 30 years before that, okay, age 22 in university. And if you look closely, I've actually got less fat at 52 than I have at 22, okay? So this is me a year later, 7 years later, and this is just a few months ago, during the circuit breaker. Okay, so it's a very much a sustainable program. Okay, we're talking about long-term results all the time. Okay. I like mountain climbing. Okay, so this is me in one of the mountains. And here, in 2013, I actually trekked 4 days. I didn't take the train. I trekked 4 days through the Inca Trail to Machu Picchu in Peru. Okay, Hwee Suan showed pictures of Kilimanjaro. This is my whole family. Okay, all of us on Kilimanjaro in 2016. I climbed Mount Elbrus also, but in quite different conditions than Hwee Suan. Okay, it was a whiteout there. Okay. Also, we went to Sondong Cave, the largest cave in the world in Vietnam. This is just an absolutely delightful picture because we're having meals in this cave, and this is not the entrance of the cave. It's actually a hole in the roof of the cave. Okay, so these are delightful experiences. Okay, this is the tallest hotel in Singapore, and what do we do with the hotel? We run up and down it for fun. Okay, so it's a vertical marathon. I also picked up rock climbing. Okay, at 60-something years old. Okay, this is outdoor climbing, and this is some sailing, rappelling course that we've done. Okay, so the business has kept me, given me time, freedom, and health to do all these things. Okay, so we talked about freedom. We talked about financial freedom. We talked about time freedom, so important. Hwee Suan talked a lot about that. Health, you can see from the transformation in Hwee Suan's life. And then, of course, being active, being relevant, still being engaged with the world, being able to contribute to the world, and having this incredible community of people that surround you, that you can contribute to and contribute into your life. Okay, that's freedom. Okay. So, I just leave you with this last question. What's the risk of doing? We've been talking about risks, storms of life, and what's the risk of doing this versus the risk of not doing this? Okay, I think the answer is really, really quite obvious. Okay, so I urge you to continue to explore this and how you can discover the best you through this platform called New Skin. Okay, so with that I bid you good night and thank you for being here. Hwee Suan, over back to you.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks everyone for coming. We've come to the end. Yeah. Thank you all for your time. Sorry you overran a bit. So good night. Good night, everyone. Bye.
Hwee Suan, I'll end this meeting
I come back on.
and then we'll just come back on. Okay?
Thank you. Bye, Wilson.